More gaslighting, much like you've been gaslit about Joe Biden's cancer diagnosis. You know, it's just something they learned about. A very aggressive form of metastasized cancer in the bone that started in the prostate. They just learned about it. No idea. Right. Just like James Comey gave his first interview yesterday on his 8647 shell pictures in the beach. Didn't know. I was just out walking around with my wife and I saw it and I said, that's weird. I bet that's something political maybe. 2114 as he talks to Nicole Wallace, the former Republican who actually supposedly helped the McCain-Palin. Always remember when you hear Nicole Wallace, or Michael Steele for that matter, the former chairman of the GOP, remember how flawed and broken this party was? Nicole Wallace used to be an aide-de-camp to the McCain-Palin campaign, okay? Now she anchors a show on MSNBC, and she welcomed James Comey to explain his post of the mysterious shells that appeared to him on the beach, and he thought it would be an interesting picture on Instagram.
For walking on the beach with my wife, so I don't know how we ended up here. It never occurred to me that it was any kind of controversial thing, but that's the time we live in.
So take me back to the walk on the beach.
We were walking on the beach. We went to the beach to prepare for this week, which was the launch of my book, and to think about the book and to prepare to answer questions about it. And we were walking back towards the road, and we saw in the sand someone had arranged shells with numbers. And Patrice, my wife, said, why would someone put an address in the sand? And I said, I don't know. And we stood over it, and I said, I think it's some kind of like political message. And she said, 86, when I was a server, she did a lot of work in restaurants, meant to remove an item from the menu when you ran out of ingredients. And I said, well, to me, as a kid, it always meant to leave a place, to ditch a place. I said, that's really clever. So then she said, you should take a picture of that. And I did. And I posted it on my Instagram account and thought nothing more of it until I heard through her that people were saying it was some sort of a call for assassination, which is crazy. But I took it down. Even if I think it's crazy, I don't want to be associated with violence of any kind.
No, I mean, it's crazy. See, you're crazy. You're a lunatic for thinking that little old James would ever do anything like that. Be still his beating heart. Why, I do declare, me calling for assassination? Oh. This guy is one of the Hall of Fame government gaslighters of all time. This is one of the biggest snakes that ever did exist inside government. And I'll tell you, that's a high bar to clear. But this guy can look you dead in the face with that aw shucks delivery and make himself sound. Do you believe that he and his wife were just happening down a beach when suddenly they saw a mysterious shell formation? 4 numbers spelled out in shells on the sand. Why, wife, what is this? I don't know, honey. And then they went all Scooby-Doo on it for a while. Let's see, 8647. I don't know. That's curious, James. You've been in the FBI and law enforcement and investigations for a long time. Use your critical investigation skills, James. What do you think? Honey, I'd say maybe it's something political. Maybe political in nature. Oh, you think? I'm not sure, but maybe 47. That is the corresponding number of presidents we've had, 47. Never mind, of course, this has literally been a news story for some time that people have been out in the streets using this as a slogan, campaigning, putting it on posters, on bumper stickers, 8647. This is not new. Tesla dealerships have been lit on fire. He knows this. Everybody knows this. But he wants you to believe that he and his wife are innocently pondering this on their vacation. And then she says, I was a server once. And I recall as a young girl when I was a server, when we would use the term 86 in order, that meant to take it away, do away with it, get rid of it. Whoa, honey, that's a great observation. Why, if we put my political observation that 47 means president, and we take your deduction that 86 means cancel, I get it, eureka, 86, 40s, why, you better take a picture of that. I think I will. Click. Post that on Instagram. I think I will. Post. And I was shocked, says James, that lunatics like you out there would think that I would post something like that encouraging assassination of a president? The idea that I would think 86 means kill or murder me, a guy who has investigated criminals at the highest levels, mobsters, gangsters, forever, that I would know what 86 was code for? Oh, that is just outrageous. That is preposterous. And I, for one, will not stand here and have my character besmirched one moment more, madam, says James Comey. I tell you something, if this guy weren't former director of the FBI, he really could have gone into acting. The guy deserves an Oscar. I have never seen such rank excrement in my life out of one man as James Comey.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.
It's Chris Stigall, and you're watching the Answer Now TV.